Well, right now it's minus 6 degrees outside. It's freezing. But this video is to inform people how I stay warm, basically. So I'm in a van. Sorry, I'm trying to get the lighting right, but my van, the heat works. It actually works great. But there's two things, though. I have a gas leak. So if I put $20 in at 6 in the morning, by 6 p.m., I'm out of gas. So I'm like, that sucks. And then, on top of that, I'm leaking antifreeze. And we all know that without antifreeze, it will just blow cold air. If I don't have antifreeze, the air won't get hot. So a bottle of antifreeze at Walmart is running me about $8. And I usually have to buy one like every 2 days. So with me not having an income, my only income is donating plasma. It is killing me. You know, when it comes down to having gas or, trying to get something to eat, and you got to decide if you want to use that $10 on antifreeze just so you can stay warm. Most times I have to go with the antifreeze because it's so cold. I would literally freeze to death out here. So I made this video to show you how I stay warm. Now, what I usually do is, I'll run the van and drive around and generate some heat. And then once the van is like, blazing hot, I'll cut it off, and I got this blanket here. And what I do is I just wrap myself up in the blanket. But the way I do it is I wrap myself up like I'm a sandwich. Like I literally have to wrap myself up to where there's no air can get in, And what happens is I usually fall asleep while the van is still warm. But then a couple hours later, I'll wake up and it'll be freezing. So I'm like, geez. So it's freezing right now. But what happened was I woke up sweating, but it's still cold. It was like a cold sweat. So my hoodie was literally drenched. It was wet. If I could go outside and squeeze it, sweat would just come out. So I took that off, and now I got my this t-shirt, but it's kind of moist as well. So, but this is how I stay warm in the winter. It's actually crazy that I've survived this long in these conditions. It's been a lot of nights where I'm like, dude, I might not make it. But so far I've been making it. So, but, and I don't know if it's good to just run a car 24/7, but I really can't do that because I'm trying to, park in spots where I can blend in. So if the van is just running 24/7, I just can't do that. I'll run out of gas. I might just damage the van. I don't know how long you can just run vans or a vehicle for any matter like that. But this is how I've been surviving night by night. I'll just wrap myself up in the blanket and try to like tuck the ends so that there's no like cracks where the cold air can seep in. And I remember being in school, learning about body heat. And, like I could take my mask off and breathe and it'll generate heat and, just me like curling up into a ball, like keeping my body compressed and so that I can have like all my body heat. And that lasts, only for so long. Wait a minute. I got to cut this light out. I hear a car pulling up. I hear like a car pulling up next to me. And this is another thing, like I'm running out of spots. Like people just won't let me. Okay, I think he's gone. But I'm running out of spots. People just won't let me be. So a lot of times, like I'll park and just wrap up in a blanket. And then I'll hear cars like pulling up next to me, stopping. Sometimes people actually get out and like try to look through the window. Or they'll call like, the police on me. And I'm thinking, man, we've gotten to such a place in the world where you just can't let somebody be. I'm not causing trouble or nothing like that. Like I'm just parking and in here sleep. And y'all clearly see that and y'all would just like everywhere I go, like people call on me. Just like last night, I was running out of spots, so I kind of went downtown and parked. And then like within like 20 minutes, I hear like people talking outside my vehicle. And then like 10 minutes later, I hear a thump, boom. So I lift up the covers. I'm thinking like it was a tow truck because one time somebody like must have called a tow truck on me. He pulled up in front of the van, hooked up his thing, and then I hit I popped up from the covers like, hey, and blew the horn. So then he dropped his thing, his little lever, his hook, and then he rolled off. And then there were like people across the street looking, and a guy yelled out, oh, it's some man in there. And I'm just thinking, I just can't catch a break, man. But back to the subject at hand, I'll have another video for the way people have treated me when I'm just trying to park and go to sleep. But this is how I stay warm. Now, the problem with this is I fall asleep and I usually can only sleep for like 2 or 3 hours before I wake up because it's just too cold. But the problem is, I usually try to pull off at like 6 or 7 in the morning once like before the neighborhood like really, really wakes up and start moving around. And when I do that, I have to take the covers off. I'm telling you, when I take these covers off, it is freezing in this van. And it's like I'll start it up, but it's going to take a good 10, 15 minutes, for the heat to start kicking in and warming me up. So I'm literally suffering for a good 15, 20 minutes, just froze. But every day, somehow I get through it. Every day, somehow I get through it. So it's been working up to this point. But another thing is when I wake up and grab, like, I have like my cell phone. All of my devices are like wet from like, I don't know if it's condensation or what, but I think what's happening is that when I sleep, because it's so cold, I have the windows up. And when I come from these covers and grab my cell phone or my keys, they are like moist. I don't know if it's for me, breathing or whatnot, but that's the problem. So a couple of my cell phones have actually like stopped working, and I'm like, it must be due to the moisture. Like the phone is literally like I just have to wipe this one off. Like it was completely wet. So that's another thing, and I'm like, I would like to kind of keep the windows cracked, but it's too cold. It is too cold. So it would help if I could get one of like those Jackeries, because then I could just plug in one of those little heaters to it, and then I could stay warm. And actually, I could I won't even have to turn the van on and run the heat, and then that would save me gas. Like this van is burning gas like crazy for that gas leak, but that's the only way I can generate heat. So I have to run it. But if I had a Jackery, man, I could just plug me up a little space heater into the Jackery and actually have heat in here.